Stay in school, don't do drugs, don't get married on TV.
Advice from a millionaire. Pittsburgh native Rick Rockwell returns home for the first time since his failed made-for-TV marriage. We'll talk to him now on KDKA TV News at 11 o'clock.
Live.
The weekend is extended for hundreds of students after an early morning call.
Home team coverage.
Not the type of visitor you expect to drop by. A bear pays a visit to a Pittsburgh suburb.
KDKA TV News begins right now.
Good evening, everyone. Bullies, shoplifters, vandals. How do we know if our kids are destined for trouble?
A surprising new study hopes to answer that. A researcher from Pittsburgh links bad behavior to lead exposure. Ralph Ainati reports on his findings and the importance of screening young children for potential lead problems.
I know, I'm sorry. When you're here, I'm sorry.
Being a mother of four, Mary Moran says she's keenly aware of the potential health problems posed by exposing her children to lead, a toxic metal which is found in a lot of old paint and paint dust, and it can interfere with the development of a child's central nervous system.
Our house is rented, and it's an older house, but the paint's all new. Like, they've repainted and everything. There's no peeling paint or nothing like that.
Like most mothers, Moran says she's concerned about lead exposure mainly because of the children.
My kids have been tested, and the recent one, my baby, she's a year old. She has been just tested when she was 12 months old, and all theirs was negative.
Noted University of Pittsburgh researcher Dr. Herbert Needleman has come out with a study suggesting that juvenile delinquency can be in part caused by childhood exposure to lead. Youngsters exposed to lead, according to Dr. Needleman, have greater odds of developing bad behavior. In a study of 417 youngsters in Allegheny County, about half convicted of juvenile crimes, significantly higher bone lead levels were found in those convicted compared to a similar group of children with no convictions.
Children are most susceptible to lead poisoning because their nervous system is still developing.
Dr. Bruce Dixon, director of the Allegheny County Health Department, was not part of the Needleman study. He told me, however, why lead level tests are so important for children, especially since there are so few early warning signs.
If one finds that somebody has elevated lead levels, there are a variety of agents that will chelate, that will bind with the lead and get it out of the body so that it removes it from the body. It at least stops the deterioration that's occurring because of the lead.
Now, Dr. Dixon says the earlier excessive lead exposure is detected in a child, the better. If you suspect something, you can have a child tested before the age of 1, and certainly, Patrice, between the ages of 1 and 5.
Because of all these old homes in this area, Ralph, is there any idea how common this lead poisoning or lead exposure can be among children?
Well, we do have some figures from the government. According to the Centers for Disease Control, they estimate there that 1 out of every 6 kids has a significant amount of lead in their blood, and 1 out of every 50 kids, the CDC says, has a level that is dangerously high. Most of the problems, the result of children ingesting lead paint. Even though it was banned 22 years ago, kids still have access to it, you know, when houses are being renovated or when old houses are torn down or something like that.
Okay, it's something to be careful about. You can get screening and take
Absolutely.
care. Thanks very much, Ralph.
No school tomorrow for the hundreds of students at Moon Area High School. Fire there early this morning damaged hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of computer equipment. It also gutted the machine shop, destroying student projects. The heat was so intense it cracked 3 sides of the building.
Everything's destroyed.
It's got to make you sick.
And it's the end of the year, and the kids have been working all year on these projects. Some kids for 2 years working on these projects, and this morning they were ruined.
We have no idea what started the fire. The fire marshal did say it did not look suspicious.
Moon students, classes are expected to resume Wednesday, and at this point it looks like you will not have to make up the missed days.
Good news and bad news tonight as the wildfire in New Mexico continues to burn. For the first time in 5 days, some families were allowed back in their homes in Los Alamos, but the danger is not over. Forecasters are predicting 60-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow, which could send that fire raging. In the meantime, many are pointing fingers at the U.S. government.
Where do we go from here? I am a real believer in the fact that the federal government is at fault here. I believe that we should step forward and say that we are responsible for what happened, and we want to see an expeditious and speedy answer to what has gone on.
So far, the fire has burned more than 44,000 acres and destroyed at least 260 homes.
In this area, a very unusual visitor in Penn Hills, a 150-pound black bear, showed up in a family's backyard, climbed a tree, caused a whole lot of excitement. David Highfield shows us what happened.
We've all heard of kittens in trees, but this was a 150-pound black bear, the last visitor Tom Marucci and his wife expected during their morning coffee.
This bear came through our yard this morning when we were having coffee, and we were surprised. First time we ever seen a bear in the yard.
Marucci called the police, and soon after, the Game Commission showed up. As neighbors watched, officers prepared tranquilizing darts to get the bear down. This next part, a little unnerving to watch, but we're told the bear really is okay.
Here she comes. Yep, stay back, just stay back.
We shot it with the tranquilizer. The bear climbed about halfway down the tree and then fell the last, say, 15 feet out of the tree. It's unharmed.
They approached the bear cautiously, then carried it off to a bear trap. It'll be taken to Ligonier. A tooth will be pulled to determine its age. After all that, the Game Commission says the bear will be released more than 100 miles away to make sure it doesn't find its way back here. In Penn Hills, David Highfield, KDKA News.
Once again, despite that fall, the Game Commission says the bear is fine.
Some say it is an eyesore and can't wait to replace it with something new. They are talking about part of the Route 51 corridor through Brentwood, Whitehall, and Baldwin. Over the years, more and more buildings have become vacant, but tonight, talk of a plan to develop some of that area. Drawings were unveiled of new businesses and shops.
It's sometimes embarrassing when you're bringing people in from out of town, and that's their first impression of Whitehall. We'd like to see it look a little nicer and just make a nice first impression.
One of the first proposed projects, a new giant eagle and a post office.
Tonight, we are still learning more about the fetus found over the weekend. A family's dog made the discovery Saturday in Freedom, Beaver County. Today, the coroner there, Wayne Tatalovich, did an autopsy on the 5-month-old male fetus, but he says a ruling on how the fetus died will have to wait a few days for toxicology and other lab test results.
Juvenile charges against an 18-year-old man accused in the death of a Pittsburgh firefighter. The teen, who was 17 at the time, is accused of setting the fire at the old St. John's Hospital last year, in which Paul McGrath died. A 13-year-old girl is also charged in the case. She has a hearing tomorrow.
The woman from McKeesport, who police say set her stepdaughter on fire in a dispute over chores, is going to trial. The girl is 14, and at a hearing today, she testified that her 49-year-old stepmom, Deborah Moody, ordered her to take off her clothes, then poured lighter fluid over her body and started a fire with a cigarette lighter. The girl suffered second-degree burns. And police aren't sure why a man set himself on fire today. 32-year-old Jesse Manuel Jr. of Erie is at the Western Pennsylvania Hospital burn unit. Police say he poured fuel on himself and then lit it. He was burned on his neck, torso, arms, and hands, and 3 police officers called to his house had to be treated for inhaling smoke.
Prepare for more trouble on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Crews have shut down the right-hand westbound lane near New Stanton, Westmoreland County. That lane will remain closed until potholes are patched. The good news is both eastbound lanes are open.
Well, there's definitely no delays for some state troopers today. They were rolling at a very high rate of speed in Cranberry, Butler County. The state police are testing the new Chevy Malibu and considering it as their next car. They put it through its paces, as you see there, on a special obstacle course.
Straight ahead.
A minute-by-minute account of the worst school massacre ever. Find out exactly what happened at Columbine.
The war is far from over, but we are winning the battle when it comes to fighting cancer. Details from the health team.
An invention by General Motors could close the curtain on a host of injuries suffered in car crashes.
Remember Rick Rockwell? See the millionaire as you've never seen him before.
And for the wake-up tomorrow, it's going to be a little chilly, but gradually things will warm up. We'll have the complete AccuWeather forecast, including a look into the weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes. KDKA TV News continues in a moment.
First, she was ripped off by a contractor. Now she's losing her home because of it.
I have no clue where we're going to go with the kids. I'm sorry, but he knew what he was doing when he was stealing my money. Where's my rights?
Tuesday on KDKA TV News at 11.
Your local Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep dealers present the Post-Gazette Pavilion at Star Lake concert calendar, brought to you by WDVE. Watch for this concert calendar Monday and Thursdays at 11 and Wednesdays at 6 during KDKA TV News. The Hometown Advantage. Brought to you by your local Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep dealers and WDVE. Stay posted for more concert news.
All
Across the country, winter is finally turning to spring. And now, with the National Jeep Spring Event, you can explore all of the season's surprises. Change your whole perspective with an incredible $359 a month lease on Grand Cherokee Laredo. And climb to new heights with exceptional capability, luxury, and style. The world looks different from behind the wheel of a legendary 4x4. So get to your dealer today before this event takes off for the season. Check it out at your Jeep dealer.
Live from Gateway Center, this is KDKA TV News, the Hometown Advantage, with Patrice King Brown, Ken Rice, and Larry Richard with the AccuWeather forecast. Now, get the advantage.
The Columbine High School massacre is being relived one more time tonight.
The Sheriff's Department in Littleton, Colorado is out now with its official minute-by-minute report on the shootings in which 15 people died. The report issued on CD-ROM is based on 5,000 interviews and 10,000 pieces of evidence.
The reason we put it on this format is we thought it was very important to show our entire timeline of what happened, how these events took place, and not let you just read about them, but let you hear them as they're developing and happening.
The police timeline shows the rampage beginning at 11:19 on the morning of April 20th, 1999. The first 911 call 4 minutes later. By 11:34, the last of 13 victims had been killed. Police then say Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold returned to the cafeteria, trying to detonate more bombs. Then they went back to the library where they killed themselves around noon. In total, Klebold and Harris had 94 bombs and 4 guns. As the murders were happening, police banded outside the school. Some families of the victims are suing the Sheriff's Department, saying police did not act boldly enough.
A man apparently upset over losing the right to see his child took preschoolers hostage today. The situation occurred in Norway. Police say the gunman held as many as 25 children and 10 staffers against their will during the 10-hour standoff. He did surrender peacefully without anyone being harmed. And back here, a radioactive nuclear reactor tank made its way through 4 counties today. That tank was moved by train from the Westinghouse Waltz Mill facility in Westmoreland County to Lawrence County. It will be dismantled there and then shipped to nuclear waste sites in the Midwest.
The Allegheny County Courthouse is now a more secure building. Security equipment, just like you find at the airport, has been installed there. Anybody coming into the courthouse has to pass through a metal detector and their belongings get x-rayed.
An anonymous donor is helping lower tuition at a local school. The beneficiary, Duquesne Catholic School. The school, it's Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh, didn't say how much the mystery donor gave, but it added that it was enough for that school to charge the same rate for Catholics and non-Catholics, $1,700. Well, the temperatures sure have dropped since last week.
Sure have. Cool and breezy today, but Larry says the 80s will return. Your AccuWeather forecast is coming up.
And when you wake up tomorrow morning, Bruce Pompiani and Susan Barnett will help you get the day going by giving you the latest local news, weather, and traffic updates starting at 5 a.m.
Why is Kenny Ross the best place to buy a used car?
Because Kenny's used cars are cream puffs. They're golden guaranteed. A car you can buy with confidence.
The confidence that comes with over 50 years experience. Every guaranteed used vehicle we sell receives a 130-point safety inspection and is backed by our exclusive 7-day exchange policy. Kenny Ross, Route 19 in Cranberry, and 2 locations on Route 30, Irwin. Deals as sweet as Aunt Penny's elderberry jelly.
We are the pool party people here on the block. Round up the neighbors and everybody comes over. We probably had 12 or 15 kids in the pool, as much use as the pool gets. The quality of the water is the most important thing. We really need to have affordable and reliable chemicals here with socket. The paste and the HTH, as good as they are, it's really very easy to maintain your own pool. But Walmart has a great selection of pool chemicals, so it's really a case where I do save a lot of money. The people at Walmart do know their stuff. You come home after a hard day at work, there's nothing more refreshing than just cooling off.
Have you ever wanted restaurant-style cookware? Here's your chance to get quality Oneida Immaculate stainless steel cookware at a great price from Shop and Save. It's heavy-duty, dishwasher safe, and comes with a 10-year warranty. Just look for the weekly Oneida coupon in our Shop and Save circular. We'll feature a different piece each week at far less than regular retail price. Start your collection today. At Shop and Save, we're working hard to treat you right.
Welcome back to KDKA TV News.
It was a made-for-TV marriage with a record crowd in attendance 3 months ago. Millionaire Rick Rockwell and Darva Conger exchanged vows before 23 million people. 36 hours after saying I do, Rick Rockwell's new bride said goodbye.
Yeah, but Rockwell of O'Hara Township, native of this area, is making the most of that brief and broken marriage. If anyone's having the last laugh here, it's Rockwell himself. His Annulment tour is making its 20th and final stop where his career took off, right here at the Funny Bone at Station Square. And before his show tonight, Rick Rockwell sat down with Don Cannon. They talked about Rockwell's failed marriage and how he learned it was on the rocks.
Well, it was pretty clear cut. Darva just came to me, quite frankly, and said, I'm out. I mean, really, literally like that. I'll catch you up on the Lido deck once in a while. Have a nice honeymoon. I mean, that's really what it boiled down to. First, she let me haul her luggage up the resort, up to the second floor of the resort. We were in a resort for 3 days before going on the cruise. But she let me lug her, and she had like Luggagezilla. And she let me lug that up the stairs, and then she said, oh, by the way, I'm out.
So you were husband turned bellboy.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can see more of Don Cannon's interview with hometown boy Rick Rockwell tomorrow on KDKA TV News at 6.
Seems that fewer people are lighting up. That is helping us win the battle against cancer. The health team reports tonight fewer Americans are getting cancer, fewer are dying from it. The reasons? Researchers say the decline in smoking is one reason, and early detection and treatment are another. The federal government is dropping saccharin from its list of cancer-causing chemicals. New studies show there is no clear association between the artificial sweetener and human cancer. This news comes after more than 2 decades of linking saccharin to cancer in rats.
You could say General Motors is trying to close the curtain on car accident injuries. In some of its 2001 models, GM's going to install curtain airbags. In addition to the airbags already in place, these new airbags are mounted in the roof, and they provide head and neck protection in a side impact crash. Do you wear your seatbelt? In tomorrow's Post-Gazette, here in Allegheny County, drivers and passengers are less likely to strap in than anywhere else in the country. Plus, researchers are baffled. They don't know why African-American women tend to be overweight more often than white women. And a new study says the Penguins need a new arena. More on those stories in tomorrow's PG. Now, hundreds of students at the Community College of Allegheny County have completed their studies.
Nearly 900 students collected their diplomas tonight at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center in downtown. County Executive Jim Roddy spoke at tonight's Guaranteed Good News event, and announcement of CCAC will play a central role in the county's government.
And students at 58 local public schools, including those at Beechview Elementary, are planting flower gardens and helping make tonight's Guaranteed Good News. This project is part of the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy's School Garden Initiative. The idea is to teach students all about nature.
Give us a call with good news happening in your neighborhood. The number to call, 412-803-HOME.
Well, summer seems to have ended. We're back kind of to spring.
I know, but
which is where we should have been.
It's going to kind of warm up toward the end of the week.
You think?
I'm sure of it. Larry?
Wow, quite confident over here.
As the late Gilda Radner used to say, you know, it's always something. And that's true in the weather department, too. We go from one extreme to the other, the 80s last week, and it's very chilly tonight. Let's take a quick look first at some current watches and warnings. These are freeze, frost warnings and advisories all around us. Here's Allegheny County, and you can see in the mountains just to the east and northwest, south. It's going to be cold enough overnight where they will get some hard freezes locally. Just not even a notification of a frost advisory, but temperatures will in some cases dip into the 30s. AccuWeather calling for a wake up in the city at 44. We'll see some sunshine, 62 by noon, and we'll climb to the mid-60s by late in the day. And along with that, there will be a chance for a shower popping up, especially in the afternoon. 52 and partly cloudy right now at Pittsburgh International. 54% relative humidity. Winds are calm at this hour, and the barometer is on the rise. 63 was our high today. That is 7 below the average. So we spent 6 days last week above average, and now we're just below. 59 is the hot spot, and that's downtown Pittsburgh, already down to 44 in Clarion County. Here is where all the weather is. Midsection of the country, some showers with our three-dimensional fly-through, but clear over the mid-Atlantic and the east. Satellite picture shows where the rain is. The only severe weather is severe thunderstorms out in the western part of Colorado, and they've got some snow expected in the Sierra Nevada mountains in the high elevations. The radar shows where there are some garden variety showers slowly pushing our way. What happens is some warm air will start to move up from the southwest, then we'll have a chance for a shower. Talking with the storm team at AccuWeather the next 24 hours. This warm weather will bring temperatures up, but it will also give us the chance for a couple of showers, especially north of the city. It does look like the bulk of that rain, though, will pass to our north over the Great Lakes. So temperatures fall right around 39, 40 degrees in and around the city, and then we zoom up to the mid-60s to near 70 south in Morgantown, and then some of that warmer air, not quite as warm as it was in El Paso, 102, they set a record today, but we'll move into the 80 range by Thursday. So to recap tonight's AccuWeather forecast, some patchy clouds, chilly, the low 38, 66 the high tomorrow. Chance for a late day shower most of the time, rain free, maybe a shower into early part of Wednesday, 72 in the afternoon. The AccuWeather forecast for the next 5 days, close to 80 on Thursday. Chance for a thunder shower again, very slight chance for a rain shower on Friday, partly sunny at 76. And then we are looking at a touch cooler weekend, a high around 70 Saturday, but we will see some sunshine too. That is the forecast from AccuWeather right to the split second.
Okay, thanks very much, Larry.
We are just getting in some details concerning a hostage situation in Bellevue.
And we will be back with a live report on the breaking news.
First, she was ripped off by a contractor. Now she's losing her home because of it.
I have no clue where we're going to go with the kids. I'm sorry, but he knew what he was doing when he was stealing my money. Where's my rights?
Tuesday on KDKA TV News at 11.
It's back now through June 30th, the Mercury Getaway Sales Event. Get $1,750 cash back or super low 0.9 APR limited term financing on the full-size V8-powered 2000 Mercury Grand Marquis, ranked #1 in owner loyalty with the government's highest front crash test rating, 5 stars. To first-class travel for the price of coach, Mercury Grand Marquis, $1,750 cash back or 0.9 financing. Now during the Mercury Getaway Sales Event.
Why do they call Petite Kitchen and Bath a design center? Because they help you create the perfect room to fit your taste. They begin with a home survey, then work with you to select every detail, from the cabinets, colors, flooring, and fixtures, to the accessories and final touches. A job supervisor makes sure everything's done properly by expert plumbers, electricians, and craftsmen. Custom creation to installation and everything in between. Petite Kitchen and Bath Design Center.
Love-In Furniture must move out $3 million of excess inventory, but you only have until Wednesday at 9 p.m. It's the biggest clearance sale of the year, only at Love-In's.
Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. We're rolling back prices all over the place. So put on a happy face.
At Walmart, we're always rolling back prices because we know how much you like to save. Walmart, always low prices, always.
The Business Show, a dynamic marketplace of over 150 buyers and sellers offering the latest in products and services. Tap into Pittsburgh's best business resource, The Business Show, May 17th through the 18th at the Monroe Electro Mart.
All across the country, winter is finally turning to spring. And now, with the National Jeep Spring event, you can explore all of the season's surprises. Change your whole perspective with a $0 $279 a month lease on Jeep Cherokee Sport with $579 due at signing, and get all this at no extra charge. Or check out the fun-loving Wrangler and get a whole new slant on things. So get to your dealer today before this event takes off for the season. Check it out at your Jeep dealer.
You shouldn't have to worry about getting brittle bones anymore. That's if you take heat right now. I hope this pays off. We'll show you ways to lower your likelihood of ending up with osteoporosis. Tomorrow on KDKA TV News at 5.
Breaking news now concerning a hostage situation underway in Bellevue.
David Highfield joins us live right now from near the scene. David, what's going on?
Well, Patrice, we're right off of Gilliland Street here, and we're back just a little bit of distance because police have asked us to stay away a little bit with our light because the situation is so tense. A man is barricaded in his home with his son inside. We are told by a man who says he is his friend that that son is 14 years old. Now, I just spoke to a Bellevue sergeant, Richard Zapko. He says Allegheny County hostage negotiators have talked with this man. What we don't know right now is whether this man is armed or whether this man has made any threats right now. But Bellevue police are taking this very seriously. They have evacuated 4 to 5 nearby homes, escorted those people out, and again, they are on the phone with this man. We are told that right now, those people that have been evacuated, they are safely out of the way. We will stay here and have any sort of resolution for you or any new news, anything we find out before the end of this newscast. Reporting live in Bellevue, David Highfield, KDKA News.
Now, here's Bob Pompiani with Hometown Sports Advantage.
Well, when the Pirates take on the Reds beginning tomorrow night through Thursday afternoon, it could turn out to be a battle for first place, but the Pirates won't have Will Cordero until at least Wednesday night. As we told you, first tonight at 6 p.m., he's back in Puerto Rico for a child custody hearing.
And I gave him permission to go to try to get that so he could bring his children back with him, back to Pittsburgh to live with him.
Well, the Pirates spent the day in Altoona. The place holds 6,000, but an overflow crowd, 7,000 turn out to watch the game and a home run derby. And they got to see Adam Heisdu, a star for Altoona. He dominated 10 home runs in the contest today. Jason Kendall led the Pirates with 6. Brian Giles didn't have any. There's Kendall. Curve also won the game, but everyone out there had a lot of fun seeing the big league team in town.
Day off would be good, but then when you get here and you see the fans that come out, and then the really, it's all for them. It really is. Just to get the opportunity to see your home, home club, and it's really a beautiful thing just to see the turnout that we've had today.
In Enron Field tonight, Griffey and the Reds against the Astros. Scoreless into the 7th. Cincinnati took the lead for good. Aaron Boone against Jose Lima, who's now 1-6. This gave them a lead, 4-3. Reds win. Griffey also hit number 13. The Pirates go there 3.5 games out of first. Jose Guillen is still in the minors, but it looks like it's only a matter of time before he's back in the big time. Guillen had a good month last week down in Durham. Player of the Week honors again. How about 4 home runs in 4 games, 12 RBIs, and apparently a new attitude. The Penguins haven't changed their attitude about free agency. The chairman of the board says the payroll, even though it's going to go up, won't allow Craig Patrick to spend money on big-name unrestricted players.
Free agency is not for this organization. It's not for this market, and we just can't afford it. So Craig's going to have a budget to work with, and I'm sure he'll do a fine job once again.
In Dallas tonight, game number 2. Avalanche and the Stars here. 1-0 Colorado. Yuri Lettinen with a shot. Mike Modano going in the net. There's a pile-up, a scrum. The puck slips in. It goes by Patrick Waugh. That made it a 1-1 game. Still in the second. Top part of your screen, Dave Andrechuk with a wicked slash on Darian Hatcher right there. It was a chippy game, a lot of physical activity. Then on the power play, big goal again from Mike Modano. Richard Matvichuk shuts him up. They made it 2-1 Stars. They get another off a turnover here. Patrick Waugh loses it. Brett Hall says thank you very much. Dallas wins 3-2. That series now even at 1 game apiece. Football season hasn't even started, but already Penn State starting quarterback has been sacked. Rashard Casey was arrested last night and charged with aggravated assault after he and another man allegedly attacked an off-duty police officer until that officer was unconscious. Police say that Casey took exception to a white officer dating a black woman. Rashard Casey pleaded innocent, but if convicted, could spend up to 20 years in jail. And now here's a look at tonight's Dick's Sporting Goods Around the World Sports Tour Trivia question. What state has the highest elevation east of the Mississippi River? Log on to dsports.com/KDK to receive a prize and be automatically entered to win the grand prize, the Ultimate Outdoor Adventure Canyonlands National Park. Bobby Knight disciplined today, 3-game suspension, $30,000 fine, but he remains head coach of the Hoosiers, but he better be good.
Keeps the job.
Yes,
All right. Thanks, Bob. Right. Back with more in just a moment.
Leather seats, dual climate control, and a 200-watt 8-speaker stereo to comfort those inside. And a radiator that actually cleans the air as it drives to comfort everyone else.
Volvo S80. Luxury inspired by life.
Hey, Dolores. Anybody feed Snuggles today?
Need a new VCR? Just order AT&T Cable's Digital Silver Package. You'll get a free RCA VCR with hookup and free installation of the Silver Package, which includes over 100 channels, plus Showtime, HBO, Stars, and Encore. This is a limited-time offer, so call 1-800-824-2290 now for AT&T Cable's Digital Silver Package. Free installation and a free VCR. Call 1-800-824-2290.
Enter Dick's Around the World Sports Tour, and you could win this month's grand prize, the ultimate outdoor adventure. 4 days and 3 nights in the Canyonlands National Park in southern Utah. Watch KDKA TV for the Dick's Sports Trivia question. Answer correctly on dsports.com/KDKA, and you'll be entered to win the ultimate outdoor adventure. Or register at any Dick's store and check out Pittsburgh's best selection of family camping equipment and technical gear from the North Face and more. Dick's, we love sports as much as you do. Now, here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. We hope you're a winner. And be sure to watch the live drawing of the Pennsylvania Lottery after KDKA TV News at 6.
Colonial Williamsburg, where two worlds collide. For your free guide to America's birthplace, call 1-800-HISTORY.
Martha, Martha, how does your garden grow?
With seeds and stakes, bulb planters and border spades.
Martha, Martha, how does your garden grow?
With annuals and perennials, pots and pruners.
Martha, Martha, how does your garden grow?
With food and fertilizer and pretty flowers, all in a row. See the new Everyday Garden collection, exclusively at Kmart.
I've lived in this community for over 45 years. My children and grandchildren grew up here. I've taken pride in our reputation here since 1952. To this day, our family and our 465 employees at Kenny Ross would never sell a used car or truck that we wouldn't drive ourselves.
That's why our used cars and trucks are certified risk-free at Kenny Ross, because they're inspected and protected for worry-free driving. You wouldn't expect anything less from Kenny or Aunt Penny.
Earlier in this broadcast, we told you about a hostage situation going on in Bellevue.
David Highfield is there live. He joins us with an update. David?
Well, Ken, the situation remains the same here. I'm right off of Gilliland Street here in Bellevue, where a man has barricaded himself in his home with his son. Hostage negotiators are talking to him right now. They don't know whether this man is armed, and they don't know whether he's making any threats right now. 4 to 5 homes nearby have been evacuated. That's the latest right now. Reporting live in Bellevue, David Highfield, KDKA News.
All right, David, that's it for our 11 o'clock report. More on that situation first thing in the morning. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Late Show with David Letterman's next. Have a good night.
There's one in every family. The bold one. The confident one. The free spirit. Each combines comfort and capability. The 4-door, 4-wheel drive Jimmy SLE has a full-length steel frame. It's backbone. And like the rest of them, it's a smooth operator. Now lease a 2004-door Jimmy SLE for as low as $299 a month and only $999 due at signing. Residency restrictions apply. Call for lease details.
All right, before we go on, I want to review last week's service. So let's go to tape. Nice, tight formation. Oh, sloppy pass, Michael. Very nice. Oops, it's all in the wrists. You break away too early. And pick up the pace of the left flank and into the end zone.
They are mothers,
fathers, daughters, and sons. Everyday heroes who are living symbols of one inspiring and powerful idea, the American dream. Meet them every Wednesday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. Brought to you by Fidelity Investments.
Travel provided by U.S. Airways, offering nonstop service from Pittsburgh to both Paris, France, and Frankfurt, Germany. Fly U.S. Airways to Europe.
The only thing that comes close to the thrill of driving a new Dodge is the fun of getting a great deal on one. Now do both during the Dodge Drive into Summer event, where select customers can spend just $349 a month to lease this four-wheel drive Durango with third-row seating plus best-in-class power and room. The thrill of driving, the fun of a great deal, and your timing couldn't be better during the Dodge Drive into Summer tent event going on now at your friendly Dodge dealer.
Jennifer Ankoviak and Ken Rice. Weekdays on KDKA TV News at 5.
The original Dukes of Hazzard are going Hollywood in an all-new movie, CBS Friday.